Hello, chat. We're currently. Oh god, I can hear myself. No. We're currently trying to bully Ant into playing Avenged Sevenfold. Get my YouTube chat open. Hear myself again. No. Oh shit. I did not open the chat. I should probably close some of these tabs. I have like 70 tabs open right now. All right. You will have to close this tab, unfortunately. But yes, everybody, welcome. I hope you're doing well today. Up. Might turn on my ceiling fan. Actually, it's kind of hot in here. Okay. The fan is on. Yes, today we are doing more development. Because we are getting close to being done with a lot of them. Because like the thing is, all of these apps are just examples. The actual system is dependent mainly on community integration. Not to say that I'm not going to try to make them good. This is essentially a 0.7 release that we're targeting as one. I'm internally releasing it first. While we iron out all of the issues and all of the weird things that come up. I'm sure there will be issues and weird things that come up, but we have to get there first. So we're gonna get there first. Before we begin with the development, I do have a slight issue. I have forgotten to actually do the thing, and we're sitting with like 13 VODs to publish that I haven't done. And we should probably do that. Congratulations on being first. But yes, I will need to publish some VODs really quick. I may even need to upload some. I want to reprocess the peak VOD from yesterday. It went really well. The issue is that the audio was doubled and nobody ever noticed or told me. We had 6 people in chat the entire stream. Let me know if my audio is fucked. It saves me time later. So I do have to reconstitute the video, which is going to take a few hours. I sure as hell hope it hasn't been like that for a long time. Hold on. Why is the quality so shit here? What? Did they lower my bitrate? Huh. These streams look awful. Oh well, this is part of the reason I re-upload. Okay. So we need to get all of our VODs that are be uploaded. What's the last we have uploaded? We have the 7th uploaded. We do need to make thumbnails for these though. Um, is this a development stream? I think it is. But this one. Is this also a development stream? Yes. That one was fixing the Twitch authentication issue, which didn't actually work. Still broken. Okay, this is the 6th. That'll probably opt a PNG out. 7th was GTA 5 with us 4. I don't actually think I have very many frames where we're actually all playing at once, do I? We're all kind of separate. Or at least I was. Another thing I need to do is check to make sure that all of these are single target VODs. January 31st, for example, is a Power World VOD. I need to quickly make sure that it is only a Power World VOD. Because if it's not, I have to re-upload it. About an hour of doing vBundler. It's actually primarily not Power World. I think I spent like 2 hours playing Power World and like 3 hours doing other shit. I could segment it, but I'm not going to. We're just gonna call it Power World. Okay. February 1st. Is I think catching up on the bundler. So I'll call it channel administration. And I could actually just look at my main channel and see what the stream's title was. February 1st. Just channel maintenance, yes. Actually, channel maintenance is the name of the 5-hour streams. This is systems administration. Because I say I'm going to do an emote vote and then I don't. Not exactly the most interesting one, but that's not what the target of me putting the bots channel was. All right, so this one is Helldivers. Somebody's already viewed these, or are these my views of me checking the video to see what content it is? It'd be weird if somebody's already viewed them. I'm probably gonna get blasted by YouTube for publishing like 10 videos in a day. Oh well. I am VOD dumping at the moment. Because this is February 4th. Drop this thumbnail in. Is this another systems administration day? I know I was trying to catch up on vbundle or vbundling, but like, is it really this much? Damn. We'll copy channel administration. Well, just chatting. February 4th was a Wednesday. This does go into the chronology. Okay. February 5th gets its thumbnail. February 5th was working lessons. Thursday. Oh, that's right. I need to opt to PNG this. Yep, that optimized right out. This is GTA without everybody. This is okay. So this is just GTA 5. Thursday. That is a Friday. This is that right? It's not right, is it? Hey, how you doing? I do software development. I am a VTuber, and I am doing well. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? Other than software development, I stream a lot of GTA, Helldivers, World. We've been playing a lot of Peak too. Forget what is he? Right now, I'm just I'm tagging videos. Oh, this one doesn't have a VOD associated with it. One sec. I'm tagging videos that I've played with, or like Sorry, I'm trying to read. I can't think basic thoughts and do things at the same time. All right. Um, I stream on YouTube on my main channel and then move them to the VODs channel. So I'm right now going through and moving all the VODs. Or processing the VODs that I do have. All right. This needs a thumbnail. It is February 7th, not 6th. Metal with some software too, more of the vibe coding nature. What kinds of software development do you do? I do a lot of back end. So I do like, I can show you in a second. I need to start downloading the next VODs to upload anyway, so I won't be able to continue with what I was doing. Also sorry that sorry that your first experience is me being extremely distracted. I'm just trying to make sure I get everything done because I hate the idea of publishing my videos out of order. So I'm like trying to make sure I don't screw it up. I have a set of videos which are very short. I'm going to assume that the 11 megabyte VOD is probably not the right one. I need 9, 8. I just published 7, so these are the ones I need. I think that's good. Okay, download those. Hope I have enough disk space. Cool. Awesome. All right, now we can go ahead and look at the things that we are doing today. So we're working on. Why is there just a singular? Hold on. Why is there just a singular dusk popcorn hanging out in the frame here? Just hanging out. All right. Well, we'll leave her there. That's fine. If I get Visual Studio captured here, we're working on an automatic challenge run generation tool. So this is called Razzopon, and it is all about. Hold on, let's see if I can go to. Have I got the things set up for these yet? No, I haven't. But you have all of these like events that you can have. So you can have challenges, you can have rewards, punishments, and you can have laws, which are like permanent rule changes. So, for example, you let's say you're doing one on Minecraft, right? You might have a law that your jump height is doubled, or you take double damage, um, and you have to complete the game as quickly as you can. That's the gist of it. So right now I'm setting up all of the components of that, and there are a few components. You can see we've got a lot going on here. So what I was working on today is the monitor, so that you as a player can see what the hell is going on. So this is kind of what we're looking at. What I need to do now is actually set this up because this is an empty object, and we need it to not be empty. So I need to go check what the schematic of it is. Which is right here, and is of this form. So we need display name and internal name, which this will just be name, I think. Is it marked as display name? It isn't. It is now. Instance ID can be set, but doesn't have to be. The public string instance ID equals null. This is null if it's a definition, and not null if it is not a definition. But yes, I do a lot of programming for like Discord bots as well, and just a lot of internal tooling. Kind of my specialty is getting things to work sometimes. We have a public string description. Actually, this must be specified. That's a relatively long description. All right. These are supposed to be in backticks. Okay. Then we need to make a public class Razzo parameter, which actually might also depend on, this is a named object, isn't it? Public enum Razzo parameter type is either continuous, discrete, choice, or Boolean. Razzo parameter type issue with vibe coding that I find I have is I don't know machine language syntax, so sometimes I don't even know what I'm building, but more specifically how it works. Yeah, I think that's probably the number one pitfall with vibe coding, and I think that it's kind of what I'm worried about is that vibe coding will become so popular that we become dependent on ChatGPT, and then they can raise the prices of their services, and then we won't be able to build anything. I definitely think that learning how to actually write the code is incredibly important. I might be biased to someone who doesn't vibe code and has been doing this for a decade. I'm a little biased, if I'm being honest, but um, I think that it's not the worst thing. I think a lot of people overestimate how difficult it is because this looks scary, right? This hell of symbols here, but like this is if I get rid of these. Oh, these. That's all it is. Oh, it's just a class with 2 members. All of the annotations exist for specifically one reason, and that's that I can click this button, wait a couple minutes, not minutes, wait a couple seconds rather, and if I come down here and I go into bin debug net10, I get this file, which has the documentation for the entire system. So all of this fluff is just to make it so that it automatically documents itself. So if you take that out, it's actually quite simple. Just a class that inherits from named object, which just has more fields. I just have this in its own class because a lot of things have this pattern. So ID has a string ID, which automatically generates one if it doesn't exist. And then like that's all it is. And this little question mark means that this may not exist. So ultimately, I feel that the best way to learn how to program is to take a project like a Discord bot. Discord bots are perfect for learning how to program because you can send it images very easily. You can get images back very easily. You can send it audio very easily. You can get audio back very easily. You can send it text easily, and you can get text back very easily. It's super easy to send data to your app. You don't have to worry about the UI at all. And then because you can do so many different types of data, the only thing you really can't do is 3D. You can learn so many different disciplines of programming. You can do image processing, you can do audio processing. I mean, hell, if you are okay with like not being able to directly see the 3D, you can do 3D processing and render it to a video or something. There's a lot you can do. And hell, I mean, honestly, you might even be able to do it with share screens, but I don't know if you're allowed to do that. I think bots may not be able to share screens. I forget. But I mean, worst comes to worst, you make a window. But yes, I think that Discord bots are a great project. And there's the other thing that is, there's one rule to programming nobody teaches you. That is, rule 1, make it work. Right? That's step 1. Make it work. Doesn't matter if it's slow as hell, awful, uses 30 gigabytes of memory and takes 10 days. Make it work. And then, and only then, move on to step 2, which is make it work well. Don't worry about doing it right the first time because I'll be honest with you, fucking nobody does it right. Programming is all about taking the shortcuts. It's all about it. But once you have gotten it to work, then you can start simplifying it, right? It's kind of like your mean math teacher who makes you like solve the problem the slow way, and then they go, "Hey, here's the formula that does it quickly." You're like, "All right, what the hell?" I mean, they didn't get there the quick way by just knowing the formula when they discovered it. But yes, well, because it lets people like me with zero technical knowledge build stuff by using verbal descriptions. But the downside is I don't know what's going on in the code. Yeah, the issue is like when you get to the point where you're building something big or something that's security like important, you're not gonna have the security or the ability to say this is secure, this is good, this is performant. That's kind of the issue with it. Um, I mean, ultimately, programming, and maybe I'm biased again. I don't think it's really that complicated. It looks complicated. It feels complicated, but really, like, let's say I'm trying to think of something. What could we do? I mean, let's say you want to sort a list, right? And you're using something like C# here, right? If I want to sort a list, I will use C# interactive. So this is a thing that you can load up that is, it's just C# but immediately interpreted. So if I do string x equals and I just type x, it's right? So I can do random r equals new, get a new random number generator, do byte data equals new byte of 16 or something, do strings equals new string of 100, right? So this is just an array of 16 bytes of data, and this is 100 strings. So we just have 16 bytes and 100 strings, right? So what I can do is now for int I equals 0, I is less than 16, or more specifically, data.length, we can do r.next bytes into data. That'll generate 16 bytes of data. We want to do for int j is 0, j is less than data.length, j++. We want to do data at j equals data at j modulo, I don't know, 15. So what we've done here, right, is we've gone over those 16 bytes and we are just limiting them to 0 to 15. That's all we've done here. We will do 16. Right? So this random data is now between 0 and 16. And we're doing that for the entire array of bytes, right? So now we have data from 0 to 16. We want to do actually we want to do this data plus data at j plus equals a, which will add, I think this is 48 or something, I forget. But essentially what this will do is that now this is between a and whatever the 17th letter of the alphabet is. The 16th letter of the alphabet. But I don't really care which one that is. And then what we want to do is strings at I. This should have been strings.length. I knew I did something wrong. Equals new string of data dot select x character of x. Don't need to worry about this. All right. You want 419 cannot convert into byte. Okay. So rude. What? Okay. So what we've done here is we've done for int I is 0. So this is from 0 to strings.length, 100. So from 0 to 100, going up by 1 every time. So essentially, this will run 100 times. We re-randomize data. So data is now new data every time. And then we confine that to 16 different values. And then we shift it over by A, which means that this will be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, and P. 16 values. and then we store that into our strings array. So if I write strings, here's our data, right? Here's all of our strings. We could do right line of string join line. That's all of our string data. All we've done is just generate random strings. Now we want to sort it. If you're using a good language, they're sorted. Some things are super easy, some things are not, right? But the thing is, now that we've built this function here, right, we can reuse this. So we can write void gen random strings, right? And now we have strings, which is called gen random strings. All of our strings are different again. And we can do this as many times as we want. And if in some application down the road that we make, we want to be able to generate random strings, we just take this, pop it in here. So like, even if it is difficult or slow to build something, you don't need to build it again. You only need to build it again if you legally aren't allowed to use the same implementation, like if you license it weirdly or something, which normally you don't, or there's some major limitation. But at the core of this, it might look a little freaky, but we can go and annotate it, right? This is from or iterate from 0 to 100, so 100 times. Randomize the 16 data bytes. Iterate from 0 to 16, so 16 times. Confine the data to 0 to 16, 0 to 15 rather. This modulo operator just it's like division and you take the remainder. So like 45 modulo 5 is 0 because there is no remainder, and 13 modulo 4 is 1 because 1 is the remainder. Because if you divide 13 by 4, you get 3, remainder 1. You just take the remainder. So essentially, it just means that it can never be this number or higher in the output. If we do something like 16 modulo 4, that would be 4 remainder 0. If we do 15 modulo 4, it's 3. It'll never be higher than this number. And it will never be this number. That's kind of what I'm doing here, is I'm taking it to 0 to 15. Because it can never be 16 or higher. And then I am shifting it, shift data by A to get A through P. And then we, we can take this out, convert the data from integers to characters, and then convert the characters into a string. That's all we've done. And once you know how to do this, you know how to do this in like 30 different languages, because C-style languages are super common. So this code, maybe not like data.length. Some languages are a little bit weird, but I mean, the general form of it works for C, C++, C#, Java, JavaScript, I think also uses this for syntax. The only thing that really changes is how you'll actually take this data and turn it into a string. But yeah, once you like learn how things work, it's it's less scary. Oh no. Sorry. So happened. Oh no. Can you see? Can you see the stream? Or can you still see the stream? Yeah, okay. Yeah, my auto mod bans people who say void because there's this bot that keeps coming into my stream to advertise a view botting website. And it's like streaming into the void. Try our view botting website. So, so I made void a banned term. So you did slightly get blasted from that. I intentionally avoided learning machine language syntax based on the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, also known as linguistic relativity. Huh? I discovered this theory suggests that the structure of a language, its grammar, syntax, and vocabulary doesn't just reflect our thoughts, it actually shapes the way we perceive the world and solve problems. Okay. So like you thought that it would like shape how you program? Well, wait, what? The unban didn't work. Unban exocortex. RBT void. Okay. It won't happen again. So I'm trying to avoid having kind of a machine logic. I see. Um, I don't know. I don't know how to think about that. I mean, there's definitely some merit. I definitely think that yes, language does affect how we solve problems. But I mean, I'm not over here, pulling the trolley problem to kill as many people because machine overload or something. But I see what you're thinking. And I mean, honestly, I think the same kind of way with music theory. I've avoided learning music theory because I'm afraid I'll be like, I'm afraid I'll start making conformant music, right? And I don't want to do that. So I get where you're coming from. Um, I don't really know because like the thing is, if you take that logic to its conclusion, um, I feel like you end up where you don't ever do anything. Don't you think? And I mean, also in that vein, wouldn't you like not want to know any languages in general? Maybe I'm like, you know, going further than where you meant to go. It's just like I feel like it's almost a fallacy at some point. Like it can be extended to anything. But I see where you're coming from. Delete these messages. Here, I have a thing. We can do this. ABT there. I can't remember if they do a capital S or not, but now if they say "treaming into the void" in their message, it'll get blasted. I had a long-term suspicion that if someone can phrase an idea which appears syntactically reasonable but is a falsehood, tried to, or it could convince me if phrased properly. I just had a long-term suspicion that if someone can phrase an idea which appears syntactically reasonable, it's a falsehood. It could convince me if phrased properly. I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean by that. If I know machine language, a hacker can speak to me using that syntax and bypass my logic. Um, I don't know. I think I don't think so. I mean, we are at our core biological beings. We aren't machines. While we can understand machines, that doesn't mean that having somebody say machine words to us would go straight past your logic. You'll still have that there. Um, I mean, if somebody starts talking to me in like assembly, I get confused. I don't go, yeah, that's right. Like I I don't try to think because like I've been doing this for 10 years, and I don't think I've ever had an issue where somebody has talked to me in machine language and tried to like control me. I just don't think it's there. I mean, at its core, programming and all of software development is just making the ones and zeros flip good. Like if we boil it down to its very core, it's just making the ones and zeros cool. On the disk, the ones and zeros, on the RAM, the ones and zeros, on the CPU, the ones and zeros. It's all just ones and zeros. Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from though. Like it is to me, I've never had an issue with it, and I don't see it being a problem. Um, because like it's like knowing math, right? If you know calculus, somebody can't like take control of you because you know calculus. You're safe from the calculus goblin. I don't think it's any different with programming. As long as you don't put a chip in your brain, you'll be okay. Can't be an empty list. It's the list. Continue learning for now instead of philosophizing psychological effects of programming syntax. Yeah, it is a very interesting idea. Sounds like a really good sci-fi novel, if I'm being honest. But yeah, no, I think he'll be okay. Okay, going to move over yes tags. That is for the parameter. All right. There is public float min value equals null and max value equals null. Okay. For this metaphor, I attempt to avoid neural language programming being used on me using natural language processing. Um, I mean, that's just making it sound like you're an AI, if I'm being honest. The two types of NLP. Yeah, I mean, I I don't think we're vulnerable to that type of stuff. I mean, realistically, the way that people get you is social engineering. That's like the number one way that people like you like get in people's heads and stuff. It'll be like, oh, threats of violence, threats of oh, we'll take your World of Warcraft account, like stuff like that. Is really where people like can kind of control you. I don't really think there is anything like that for programming. I'll be honest, I've never heard of somebody vibe coding because they are concerned that programming syntax would give somebody an in on them. This is a first for me, if I'm being honest. Yeah. If I'm being honest, it still sounds like a really good science fiction novel. Let's see what else is there. Display name, internal name, type, tags, choices. Um, is this private? Value unit name extensions is next. So public dictionary of string to object extensions. It's nullable and does normally equal null. Okay. I think you summed it up better than me. I'm concerned that learning programming language syntax would make me vulnerable to logical subversion using machine language syntax. Less about overt influence, more about covert influence. Yeah, no, I mean like the knowing programming language syntax does not, it doesn't even mean you would know about machine language syntax. Um like I know that this is converted into machine code, but I still don't know what it is. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been using C# for 10 years. I don't know I don't know what it is. um I mean, we could look. I have the ability to look at machine code right now. Because I still have the peak mod open. Go to like, I don't know. What's the mushroom or the marshmallow patch? Yeah. Like to show you what this ends up being, right? I can show you it. So here is our method editor. That's not our method editor. Moment. Here's our method editor. Right. So this is actual code for a peak mod. I guess there's a difference between programming language syntax and machine language syntax. To me, it was the same. Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. So this right here is programming language syntax. This is C#, right? This is C# code. I honestly have no fucking clue what it does. I didn't write this. This was written by guy. I don't actually know who wrote it. Um, one moment. Who wrote this? Um, I thought BepInEx was supposed to have information on who wrote it. It's not. Oh well. Somebody wrote this. But if I open this code again, right? So here is the add backpacks code, right? Um, this is what the C# looks like. But if I go in, I can actually go to the MSIL, which this is the actual machine code. This is what that exact same function looks like. This is Microsoft Intermediate Language. This is what programming looks like under the hood. I couldn't tell you what half of this shit does. I see 0.25. I see a 4. I see a 34. I don't know what this shit does. I've only edited MSIL once. So I don't know what it does, but this is what machine code looks like. Well, this is what intermediate code looks like. There is actual machine code, which is um essentially one level up or one level down from assembly. Um, I don't know how this works though. But yeah, the actual machine code itself. I mean, I can show you machine code. But does Godbolt do machine code? Is ILDASM? I need C. That's fine by me. Okay, I need assembly actually. Can I disassemble it? Ah, cool. So this is actual machine code. This is what the square function looks like in assembly. You can see if you hover here, you can see what all of this shit means. I don't know how to read assembly. I've never written it. I've seen videos about assembly for the NES, but that's about as far as I've gone. So see, it does this. There's a multiply, integer multiply. That's what that says. Um, but I don't know what this. I don't know what this is. Um, and then if you want to get super deep in the weeds, um, I don't know how to um turn it into actual just straight up binary. Ah, yes. Here it is. See, that's 55, 48, 89, E5. This is the actual machine code. Okay, then let me try to clarify a bit more. My main issue is something like this. For example, object-oriented programming. If it's the only language one knows, may lead to having an or may lead to one having an object-oriented logic towards life. Um, I see where you're coming from. Uh, it is not so much a language that you speak, so much as it is a way to write things, if that makes sense. We call them programming languages because it's a set of things that you say, and it is easy to compare it to a language. But I'm not speaking to my computer in assembly or anything. Like it's not. It doesn't affect how I um. It doesn't affect my internal monologue, if that makes sense. I definitely could see how it might affect how you think. I just don't think that that change is that significant. I don't, go, oh, I need to. I mean, I really can't even think of how you would do it. Like, the first thing I thought it was polymorphism, but it doesn't really make sense. Um, the only thing that I could maybe see is encapsulation, because in object oriented programming, you're to reduce the amount of information that is available about your object that isn't necessary. So it's kind of like a privacy thing. Maybe you could go that way. I am a more private person than when I started like programming, so maybe you could say that. But I'm also a VTuber now, and I wasn't before, so there's that too. I mean, like it. I just don't think that it's something to be worried about. I'm not saying that it's like. I'm not saying that it's invalid to be worried about it. I just think that it's probably fine. I feel like you would have to be very deep into the programming weeds to change your lifestyle for it. And even then, I mean, is changing your logic towards life really a bad thing? Oh, wait, is that are those fake bits? Wait, there's no way, right? Is that a small red triangle I see? That is a small red triangle I see. Sorry, but I have caught you. But thank you for the one bit. I remember when I first started streaming, well back in the day, I started streaming on my first Twitch account 7 years ago. No, maybe it's 10 years ago. I was young. I was playing Linkin Park directly into the stream. I was not long for Twitch back then. Somebody faked a $500 dono. I thought it was real. I was playing Minecraft at the time, and I put a sign on my Minecraft house with this username on it. So I am not um I am not new to the game, unfortunately. But yes, thank you. Welcome. Hope you're having a great day. But yes, as I was saying, like I don't think that changing your logic towards life is necessarily a bad thing in the first place. I mean that's just kind of the human way, we change how we think about things all the time. And it's all about, you make mistakes and you learn. That's what it's all about. Nightbot is spamming right now. Nightbot, what the hell? I need to put my Matrix link there. I have threatened to leave Discord if they make me verify my age. All right, let's close this. Oh, that's a good one though. That's a good one. It even appears in the even in the cheer dialogue. It looks kind of like it. That's actually a pretty good one. Hey, I respect the scam. That's pretty good. That's good. All right. How was I doing? Let's see. For the object, we have display name, internal name, instance ID. Honestly, ID is probably good enough. We specify it to be null. We don't need another instance ID field. I suppose that works. Yeah, I probably overdid it myself. I'd argue even more the different languages one knows, the less susceptible one would be, because the toolkit of recognition is broader. I agree that changing your logic isn't necessarily bad. I'm just against having your logic influenced by actors who know how to speak the language, yet they convince you of falsehoods. Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I feel like programming isn't a it's not a developed enough language to convey ideas like that. Like, I don't think I could deceive somebody with for loops. It's just I don't think you have the tools for it. But yeah, I mean I actually like languages quite a bit, so I do like the thought about it. It is a very interesting thought. I've done a little bit of dabbling in I mean, I know English. I took 4 years of Spanish, but I haven't used it since, so I don't remember very much Spanish. Um I did a Duolingo course for German for like 2 weeks. I did the same for Indonesian. I took 4 years of Japanese, and I do use it periodically, so I do actually remember quite a bit of it. But I am afraid every time when when actually checks to make sure he's not here. Whenever Minto-san comes into the chat, I get afraid that I'm gonna say something stupid. um, but yes, I like language. I'm actually making my own language, for my story. But that is neither here nor there. It's got so few words, it's probably not even notable. One day we'll get there, but not yet. This formatting is wrong. What happened here? Everything else is indented too much. Weird. Okay. Polyglotism is the key. Yeah. I think it's cool though, because like you learn that Japan until like 1945 didn't have a word for green. It was just blue. They still call them blue lights at intersections. The apples, the green apples, those are blue apples. It's a very interesting like phenomenon in language is that certain languages don't have words for certain colors. And like you can predict when they will stuff. It's very interesting. Because like Japan was super isolated before World War II. It's a very interesting thing. Hell, they would call I mean, back in the day, they would have called that channel or the category icon for software and development, software and game development. They would have called that blue. Cool. I suppose in a way, everything comes back to Ninja's hair. All right, let's set this to 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 representing unknown, and it's not possible for there to be a combination. Law will be 1, trial will be 2, blessing will be 4, and curse will be 8. There will be a special value, special equals 16. Unknown will equal 0. So I can assign this to, that's not it. Public Razzo type. Actually, it does have to be called Razzo type. Equals unknown. Oh. I don't know if this will work. We'll find out, I suppose. Okay. So we now have our entire Razzo definition here. Except that extensions must also be defined on the Razzo. These are Razzo parameter. All right. So now, theoretically, I should have all I need to register a Razzo. And it should just work, ideally. If we're very lucky, it'll just work. So we're gonna try it. So need to make a Razzo, which we will give the internal name test Razzo, the display name test Razzo, the description This Razzo is a test, and here is a parameter. Caret param. Razzo type is, we'll just do law. Tags is absolute. Parameters is new with a new parameter, Razzo parameter, which will be max value is 100, min value is 0, type is continuous, value unspecified, unit name is %, choices is unspecified, internal name is param, name is parameter. Tags is empty. All right. And then we need another parameter for duration, which will be between 360 and 330. Continuous. Register Razzo event, RE equals new. Razzo equals new of R. And then we will call send event of register Razzo event. We will check if we get an event for Razzo registered. Razzo works. I don't know, man. I just work here. If this works. Oh, I'm running the documentation one. We find nothing. Okay. Somebody is sending me texts. There's a spider on my camera. Okay, so we did not get it Razzo works. Yeah. Node event type Pong, huh? Huh? Error parsing not a number value. Line 1, position 1. Huh? Not a number? Here. Because value is set to 0? Try this again. Object reference not set to an instance of an object on JSON event socket line 146. How do you mean no? 146. What is the problem? This event didn't deserialize. Huh? I think I got hit with a erase condition. It didn't finish in time. How does it not constitute an existing event? Oh, you know why? Build solution. I forget. It only builds from the main project and not the sub project, so they're actually out of date. No, it still doesn't work. What the hell? Drink, bitch. I don't have anything to drink. Right. I got water now. You thought I couldn't do it. You thought getting water was beyond me. You were wrong. How much water? How much water do I have? I actually can't see. Uh, light, light. Kind of a dark corner of the. About 30% of it left. I have to spend some time getting water pretty soon. I think that's my last like jug. So I'm gonna have to go get $10 in quarters and go sit next to a primo water machine for the next like hour and a half. My arms are gonna be so tired at the end of that. So essentially I have these refillable jugs of water. They are 4 gallons each. Um and naturally I can buy water in increments of 1 gallon or 5. Because fuck everybody who doesn't have a 5 gallon jug, I guess. Um, so I have to go there. I have to put the jug in the machine. I have to buy 1 gallon of water 4 times. And then I have to lug that back to my car. 4 gallons of water is, if I remember correctly, 32 pounds. So parking close is the key. So my casual, semi-regular lugging of 128 pounds of water. Or if I do all 5, that's what, 160 pounds of water. So, yep. And then I have to lug it up a staircase. That's fun too. But oh well. Such as the pain of not using regular bottled water. For some reason, it's still not deserializing this. So we're gonna have to actually look. So I'm going to conditional breakpoint if JE is null. Um. All right. Well, I tried to dereference this and it broke. So that's rough. Uh, I don't know why this isn't working. They should all be JSON events because they cannot be anything else. But how is this breakpoint hitting such that JE is null? How does that make sense? Value null. Serialized full event. That's the previous one. Where is that? Where is this? Serialized full event? Oh, it's this. Sorry, I might be a bit of an idiot. Why is this the case? I kinda wish I could see what it sees. My guess is this isn't yet ready to consume it. My concern is that this has already been advanced such that it is no longer a valid position to start another object. I think it has something to do with the actual event being so large that this takes long enough. This doesn't finish anymore. What I want to try is if JE is null, then we retry. Go to retry. I think I cannot do there. I think we can't skip a definition. So this might work? Maybe? I mean, now it just keeps taking this path. What the hell is on the JSON text reader, though? ID. So the actual object starts inside of it. If I come and do another one. So it's not actually consuming anything. The object is destroyed. How the fuck is it destroyed? Doesn't make any sense. How does it make sense that the object is not yet finished being sent? Wrong. Why is this wrong? It is a race condition. How does it end up going the wrong way, though? Hmm. What is the buffer size? It's 65. It's 64 kilobytes. So the buffers aren't too small. Hmm. So I'm thinking what I could do instead is instead of assigning a bunch of different um streams and stuff to it, because this also doesn't clean itself. So I think we stop using network stream and we start manually serializing things. Um, so let's start by implementing an entirely new class. We will call this JSON event socket 2. Um, okay. The idea is that instead of using JSON text reader and writer, network stream, or JSON, I mean, we do need the serializer, stream reader and stream writer. Instead, don't use any of these. So instead of send event, we do JSON event or EVT 2 equals new of EVT. So we wrap it so that it doesn't delete any of the stuff when we serialize it as a simple object later. Then we want to do socket.send. We need to convert this into a byte buffer. So what I'm going to do is say string JSON string equals JSON convert dot serialize object of event 2. Bytes equals encoding dot utf8 dot get bytes of JSON string. We send the bytes 0 and bytes dot length, and then we call socket dot flush. We make sure that these are actually sent. Okay, flush is not an option. I suppose this is a blocking call, so this should work. Okay. So now what we're going to do is if socket.available is less than 2, so it cannot possibly be a JSON object, we continue. Then what we're going to do is do byte buffer equals new byte of 65,535, so 64 kilobytes is the absolute maximum size this server implementation will handle. We will start by setting array.fill of byte of buffer with 0. Then what we'll do is socket dot read or receive into buffer for 0 and 65,535 with socket flags peak, do not actually consume them, and socket flags dot partial, do not actually force a 64 kilobyte read. Then what we're going to do is string JSON data equals, actually we're going to do memory, or using memory stream ms equals new of buffer, load it into a buffer, we set the ms position to 0, JSON text reader equals new of ms, or using stream reader sr equals new of ms. All right. We won't retry if J is null. Continue. Okay, so now this should cause it to be slightly better. We're going to use a JSON event socket 2. And we're going to do the same for the server implementation on listener. So essentially what we're doing is we're trying to see if possibly using a new socket implementation might help us a little bit. We'll make this inherit from JSON event socket 2. Okay, so we are currently absolutely hammering the middleware with welcome events. Actually, both of them are repeatedly sending their events. Okay. Why? Why is that happening? Oh. Right. Issue. We don't know how much data was used to get the... No, we do. We do. Okay, here's what we do. If it is not null, we do socket that receive into buffer at 0 for ms.position with socket flags.none. The issue is that we weren't actually consuming the data, so it just kept reading the same event over and over again. Version of long to int. Fuck you. Now this won't work because I didn't build the entire solution. Okay. Error while converting ID to JSON event socket 2 plus JSON event. Ah, now it's going crazy. Okay, one sec. See. It's doing the same thing where it starts from an ID. It's still going too quickly. Wow, man. Wow, man. Why is it getting mangled? Not supposed to be any Five Nights at Freddy's here, but we're getting mangled. Is it gonna do the thing, or are you just not gonna get rid of the breakpoint I've clicked on 4 times? Great. Is it happening again? It is. Wow. But this only works if the input data isn't formatted. I can't rely on. Maybe unable to cast object of type JSON event socket to a JSON event socket. Make everything JSON event 2. Just so that there's absolutely no ambiguity. Middleware 106. All right, register routes that worked. Hey Hydra, how you doing? I'm currently suffering the the consequences of all of my decisions. So as to say that my network programming isn't working. But we have another problem now. It's not outputting the event it's supposed to be outputting. Is register Razzo doesn't register the Razzo. That's why. Well then. It works now. Had a math test today. I don't know how it went yet. Yeah, it's always the fun one. Chat, I got the special line. It Razzo works. Which sounds like a really bad like tagline. But it means that registration is working. So now, theoretically, we can get this to work. Problems that I could check with my calc I got right at least. Yeah. I feel like being in school is all about like programming your calculator to do all the hard shit for you. Just don't tell your teacher I said that. Then they'll take your calculators. All right. Now, get the monitor to work. So for these guys, going to have a public Razzo, 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 get set equals null. Actually, can I do only set? Okay. So what I want to do now, I still figure out the problems because I need exact answers and work shown, but I check my work with the calculator to see if it makes sense. Yeah. Eventually, you get to a point where you don't actually have to show the work anymore. That's when you start going crazy with it. One of these is label 2. You're label 2. I accidentally made a click event. All right. Now, when we set this, we want to do label 1.invoke Razzo r equals value. Makes this not nullable. Fine. Label 1 text equals r dot name. I don't need to do matrices by hand. Really forgot to do RF and needed it for the final problem of my test. Yeah. Linear algebra is the only class I ever actually failed. I got really unlucky with my professor. They were turbo dog ass. They were just really bad. Like really bad. So linear algebra is the only class that I ever like completely had no fucking clue how to do. So I had to take it again with a different professor, and he was a lot better. Probably didn't need RF for the problem, but it was the most efficient way of doing it. It was a force vector problem. Yeah. All I remember about my linear algebra class is that it was like in this like really shit classroom that like the air conditioner, like the main AC for the building was in. It was like partitioned off by this thin wall. So just periodically you'd hear this really loud fan turn on and you'd have to start yelling. It's kind of funny. And then also that class was in the PM slots. So like the class ended at like 9 p.m. So it's just like you walk home or you walk to your car in like complete darkness. You're like, am I gonna get stabbed? Doing all my college online since I'm still a high school senior. Yeah. You're in linear algebra? Like already? Must be doing a math. Calc 3? Shit, dude. Calc 2 is my second year. Calc 2 is actually an interesting class for me. We only had one other student in the class. Just happenstance, there was only one other person in the classroom. I guess everybody else like dropped out or like dropped the class. There's me and one other person, and I will say it is definitely the most one-on-one teaching experience I ever had because there was just 2 people. We all thought like we didn't even come to the class for an entire week because we thought that the university was going to cancel the class, but they didn't. They were like, "Fuck it, 2 students, that's good enough for me." So we ended up doing it, and then like our final exam was an epidemiology project for COVID because it was COVID at the time. You know, it was very topical, and I just looked over at the other student. I was like, "You want to do this?" She was like, "No." I'm like, "All right, we're not doing it." He's like, "All right, that's 5%." I'm like, "I don't care." We were all like, "Fuck it, we don't want to deal with this." Fun. My class is mostly just self-learning through experimenting and solving problems. The textbook doesn't make any damn sense. Yeah, you gotta love that. I will say I didn't ever have any instance of no, I did have one instance where the textbook was the professor's own textbook, which is a massive in my opinion, if you ever get a professor that's trying to get you to use their textbook, that's when you drop the class. because that's always a sign that the professor is either just trying to make money off of the class using their textbook, or they think that they're hot shit and they're not, or it's just a bad sign. That's a red flag right there. Take a few assignments in English and science, but never math because math is fun. I mean, that's a good mindset to have. I personally didn't struggle too much in math, except for that linear algebra class. Um, I've always been kind of a numbers guy, but I mean, I say that, but the most common the most common mistake I make with math is regrouping errors. I always forget if I've already done it and end up doing it again. It's such a funny thing. Like that's my Achilles heel mathematically. Bro, my physics professor is forcing us to use his textbooks and a bunch of AI tools. Oh my god. Yeah. You don't want a professor. If a professor is asking you to use AI tools, that calls into question his credibility. That is not good. That is really not good. If he just says go look at ChatGPT, that means your professor does not care about anything he's doing. At that point, I would probably go to the dean and be like, "Hey, our professor is trying to have us use ChatGPT to do it." Yeah. I would maybe consider talking to the dean, because if you are paying for a collegiate education and you're getting use AI, you need to stop paying that college, because you're not getting shit out of it. As someone who paid a college, and I mean, I didn't get shit out of it because I already knew what it was, but I had to do it because I was forced. To be fair, it's community college for dual enrollment. I mean, yeah, but it's still not good. You want to get a good education. Are they like paying your tuition for dual enrollment? Probably gets paid the same as a garbage truck driver. That is fair, yeah. They pay 6 credits, but I'm taking physics and math, so I still had 2 credits. Damn. Yeah, part of the reason I did dual enrollment is they would pay my tuition. Oh, this isn't going to be an instance. So this isn't going to exist. I think this is always going to be one. Nobody else at my high school is taking the same courses. Just literally just my math teacher. Yeah. It was interesting doing dual enrollment, because like I actually physically went to the university instead of my high school. So I didn't actually have to deal with my high school. So I don't actually remember much about my high school. I only went there for 2 years. I did 2 years at my uni. Retso Instance is not a good name for this. Like, you would get so much more done if I could just stay at the college in a quiet space instead of my school where nobody's doing shit. Yeah. I will say one of my favorite things about my college is that there were a lot of different spaces where you could just kind of like sit down and like do shit. They made a lot of good spaces for you to just sit there and study. I have an English class in the morning, and then I just do physics and math. Yeah. So are you not taking school, or are you not taking classes at your high school anymore? Is it like just the college courses? Just the English class? Yeah. That's cool. Ahead of everyone else in my school, but I go home at like 12. Yeah. Although if you're doing dual enrollment, you can't get valedictorian, can you? Or can you be valedictorian without graduating? I suppose you can be valedictorian without graduating. Are you valedictorian? The hell is the etymology of the word valedictorian? Valedictorian. Who delivers the valedictory? Huh. Not walking graduation because it's not an accomplishment for it. High school is stupid easy. Yeah. I honestly didn't want to do my like the walk either. I honestly kind of felt the same way after college. Like college wasn't difficult. The only difficulty I ran into was like it was the linear algebra class. That was it. Generally can't believe that people are 2 GPA. I mean, to be fair, we don't like there are different levels of intelligence. Um I don't think that anyone is completely incapable of understanding something. It might take longer though. I understand struggling in college because there's more to manage independently. Yeah. There's a lot more like I mean people say that there's a ton of homework. It really depends. Um if you manage your schedule correctly, it won't be a problem. Um don't do what I did. I put all of my gen eds first and didn't do um like my degree requirements at the same time because I had known that I was going to transfer anyway. So I just like spammed gen eds. Don't do that. I had to take an additional year because of that. So I was delayed for my graduation because I did my gen eds in order. Or no, I did my gen eds and then the degree requirements. Because they set up these degrees because you're gonna have a prerequisite chain that you have to deal with. And if you want to get out of that prerequisite chain, you're going to need like approval from like the dean or something. I can't remember what position does it. But that prerequisite chain, at least for my degree, was 3 years long. And I had finished my gen eds in 2 years. So I had 3 years to go through for all of the degree stuff. So I ended up coming in for like 3 hours in the last year. So make sure to pay attention to your schedule and talk to your counselor, like your advisor or counselor or whatever. Especially if you're planning on transferring. Talk to them about how to manage your schedule and how to um make sure that you're not doing dumb shit. Like plan your schedule years in advance. Like plan all of it. I think it's a problem when the top 10% of my peers in my high school classes are asking me how to spell predict. Yeah, I mean that's not good. um Yeah, I mean, my high school had like a 70% pass rate. We had a 30% failure rate, which is that's rough. Like that's bad. Um, it is one of those things. But I don't think that anybody is incapable of understanding something. But it is important to realize that if we are gifted with intelligence, we should not look down on other people. We have to write an essay on paper. Nobody can spell shit. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, right? Let's put everything aside, right? English is a shit language. It's a shit language. I before E except after C. There are more exceptions than words that follow the rule. Why the fuck are we taught it? Why? And then you have like shit like thought. Then but there are some words that you shouldn't be misspelling that are still misspelled. Yeah, that's true though. I still get annoyed when people use the wrong there. Or your. I mean, Jack's film said it best when he said your versus your, the most common form of telling people that you never passed third grade. There are two of them. Literally just means you are. I've never seen anybody use the third your though. YORE. One day somebody's gonna do that, and I'm gonna be absolutely fucking flabbergasted. I'm gonna be absolutely bamboozled when that shit happens. But yeah, no, there, and your are ones that they bother me when people get it wrong. Especially because they're all common words. Like I could get it if they were like rare homophones. But like there, and your are both extremely common. Being bad at math makes no sense to me though. I mean, it really depends. Like whether or not you're good at math depends on how good your educators were when you were young. That's it. If they were not capable of discerning that you are not understanding what they're saying and putting it into a different way, then you're going to be bad at math. And it's not really your fault. If your foundational math isn't something that you're certain about, you're just kind of fucked. Probably the same with language and your and there. Literally always been ahead of what my teachers are teaching me, so I still don't get it. That's because you are wired correctly for math. You're a numbers guy. I think that I've been sitting here without testing this. Going through a surprising amount of old memory. Fun times. Speaking of times, timer. Timer? I hardly know it. Please put the fucking timer on the shit. God damn it. I love accidentally making label 3 click. It's not an interval? Of a random member trying to teach someone how to round numbers in 3rd grade. Yeah. Actually, that's an interesting thing. So let me make a tick event here. So in Japanese, um, the word for rounding is casually opens Shisho to make sure I'm not wrong. Yes. The word for rounding is the sha go new. Right? That is not. Hold on. There we go. So the cool thing about this, right, is really not spreading out white. All right. So this is she, which is 4, and go is 5, right? This kanji right here means to discard. So I'll just say X. And then this means to enter. So um, it is literally 4 no, 5 yes. 4 times 5, 20. Yes. This equals 20. No. And no, literally 4 discard, 5 enter. Which I think is very funny. This is used to cheat on my spelling test by looking at other people's tests to just seeing what they did wrong. That's awesome. Okay. But all of my controls are gone. Like secondhand embarrassment seeing someone fail a 2nd grade spelling test. Yeah. Um one of the things I remember, so I was helping proctor a test for one of the classes I was in. And I remember vividly um they were, like turning in the test when they were done. Why are all of these invisible? What's going on here? They were turning in the test when they were done. And this one specific test, I guess it was a really brutal test. Because most of the class turned in an empty test. It just had nothing set up. I just deleted the profile. I needed shit. All right, well, fuck me, it's gone. Um, but they turned in an empty test and they were like, "I'm just dropping the class." I'm like, "Shit, dude." And I look at the test, and oh my god, the test was diabolical. The test was absolutely insane. So it was like a GPU programming class, and the test gave you a system like it gave you like the output of DX diag, and it was like you have to tell like all of the shit that it would do. I'm like, holy fuck, I wouldn't be able to do this, and I've done like GPU programming before. I've done CUDA C++ programming, and it was just like this insanely difficult class. But did they learn the material first? Who fucking knows? The teacher wasn't actually all that good. I very vividly remember him saying, "Go over like section 5.3. It'll be on the test," and then he skips it in the lecture. And I go around, the test comes around, right? It is only section 5.3, nothing else, nothing else. So if you read section 5.3, you passed that test and you passed the class, and if you didn't, you failed. Period. Right, but it's still shit teaching. Why is... Oh, it is. Fine, I'll name the fucking profile so you can stop being angry with me. Good one. So rude. Alright. But yeah, it's really shit. He wasn't a great teacher. Okay. Now to test this, we're going to create our own Razzo. And by create our own Razzo, I mean I'm stealing the definition from here. Need to make one for load form. It's going to be a Razzo parameter. So id equals GUID.new GUID.toString. Value equals 69.420. This will be 120. I don't know, man. My English teacher is so awesome, but I feel really bad for her because most of the seniors don't give a shit. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of just a constant. Teaching high school would drive me crazy. Yeah. Holy shit, this actually works. Chat, we're so in. College, I can have this bare minimum expectation because placement tests and prerequisites at least. Yeah. I mean, keep in mind that colleges make money when they accept students. So there's probably going to be a lot of people who don't give a shit. They let anyone pass high school classes, though? Not really. You do actually have to try a basal amount. And like I said, if you get bad teachers when you're growing up, you're going to have to try a lot harder than everybody else. I mean, to be fair, there's also an element of you did have to pay attention to. I don't know how some people are moving on to the next grade when they don't show up 30 days out of the year and they have D's in all their classes. I have no idea, man. I might call it here for this project. Not the stream, but just this project. I have been working on this for nearly 12 hours today. Um, I don't want to do anymore. I am a little bit tired of working on it. Just a little bit. Have I had a Firefox window open this entire time over the stream? No. Cool. Yes. I forgot about that. Um, but yes, I've been doing a lot of development. I'm trying to get it all done. It's supposed to be done in a week, and I'm not super happy with my progress. I mean, I really doubt that the guy who commissioned it is going to be like, "What the hell?" But I mean, it has been a long time, and I haven't made enough progress on it. So essentially, what I'm going to try to do is update the Minecraft plugin to have all of the content it needs to have. Because the Razzo definitions for the Minecraft plugin are out of date. So I want to update them to be consistent with the current API version, and then to actually connect it to the Razzo server, and that will be at least the initial implementation of it. Why do I not have the? Oh no, that's because I started streaming yesterday. That's why. All right. Actually, I want to cancel the upload for the 11th. That's the Peak one, isn't it? Peak one has significant audio issues. Okay. Does the 10th also have audio issues? 10th is development, can't have audio issues. All right, the 9th sounds good too. So it's just the 11th. We might do a little bit of video editing, trying to fix this recording. So the issue with this recording is that the audio is doubled, which is an issue, quite a big issue actually. So I'm going to have to reconstitute the video, which isn't that big of an issue because that's not hard by any means. It's just gonna take a while. So I need to take the have a bunch of recordings. Oh, these are not. Oh, has that worked? Sometimes it doesn't work. It is working. Cool. Model key and chat Twitch and time is what I need. The alert is really loud, is it? Turn it down. Try it. How's that? A little bit loud? Okay. A little better. Yeah. That's minus 20. I'm at -4. So I think that's probably fine. If you listen back to the first time, you would see. I mean, I could just set it back to 0 and see. I mean, to be fair, the every 6 decibels is half. So it's about 30% as loud as it was before. Did I start downloading these? I don't think I did. I need to do that really quick. Wait, my window's gone. Did I copy? I did copy. Okay. Yeah, I just want to get these into the project, get it starting on the audio thumbnails. The video is 4 hours long. I do intend to edit it too, so this is just convenient, really. At 30%, it's still slightly louder than your voice. Imagine the full volume from the first time. I don't think it's louder than my voice. It's I watched the VUs. My voice is at 2 decibels, -2, and the alerts are at -20. I'm quite happy that I'm probably louder than the alert. I mean, we could try it. Here, I'll just keep yapping and making noise. Run this. Set the volume to 100%. Words, 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 words. No, they're not. It's not louder than me. It's done downloading. It is. Okay. It just asked me if I want to change my profile to 232 by 50. I'll pass. I don't think people like watching videos in 232 by 50. I could be wrong. If anybody wants to say. The alert just has a really loud peak that matches your voice. Now I think the volume bars you were looking at are a bit misleading. No, I mean I heard it. It does have a decently loud bit in it, but I still don't think that's louder than me. I probably won't mess with it anymore because making new alert sounds are on my to-do list anyway, so we won't be using it for too much longer. I say that, but it'll probably be fucking March by the time I actually do it. That's if I'm being fast. I just don't have any ideas for alert sounds. I don't have any ideas. I hate the default Twitch alert sound. Yeah. Do a little sparkle sound. The thing that I'm slightly worried about with that is that it might be difficult to hear. I mean, I could make one. I have FL Studio in a Glockenspiel. I have a real Glockenspiel too, actually. I just don't think I'm going to be making anything that sounds good with that. Let's see. Let's try it. Let's see what we can do. Subject, window capture 2, FL Studio 64. Why is it invisible? I did not make it visible. That'll do it. Is window capture 2 with audio? No, it's not. It is now. Set that down by 12. All right. Now we can replace this with sample tank 4. My beloved. It crashed while loading its settings. Oh. That'll do it. Where did it go? I have to restart FL Studio. So the problem is I didn't have my music drive plugged in, so I can't actually make audio at the moment. I have to wait for this to close. Will you close? Shit. Sparkle is nice for like followers. Yeah. I might also put it on I might put a similar sound on redeems because redeems are relatively loud. I do agree. That sound is not a great sound for a redeem. Let's see. This is a good one. Good enough. Shit. All right. That is not A4. If you can make the volume scale with the amount of channel points it costs. No, because I'm using Twitch's own alert box. I don't have the ability to modify it. If I were to put this in Coalescence, I could, but then it would have a chance to fail. Also, the closet redeem would be incredibly loud. That's 15 grand, isn't it? It's 10 grand. I meant to change that and I didn't, did I? Somebody's gonna closet me now. Wouldn't scale linearly. I mean, 15 grand or 10 grand is still the most expensive. Surprisingly enough, nobody's done ad time. That I don't want to try playing this at double time. Right? How's that sound? Do we like that? I guess I could play it at full volume because it's down 35. It's mute? Is it? Should be playing to every channel at once. Oh, that's the local one. Hold on. Eh, Yeah. Professional streamer. Look, I have a 2 PC setup and both of them have the same window. They're both OBS with a bunch of VUs. What do you want from me? I feel like, hold on. I'm gonna try something. That does not sound good. Back to Glockenspiel. Using Elgato Wave 3, so I just separate all my audio channels. Yeah, no, I have 2 PCs. I have the main PC and the relay PC. So I can't use like an audio interface like that. It doesn't work. I don't know anything about my singing monsters. This looks like what I would see in my nightmares. What the hell? Why are we coordinating what we're doing today at 1 in the morning? How have we not done this already? We have amazing communication. Um, I say we use this as a redeem sound. Nice and not painful. So we'll make a wave file mainly because I think it's funny. We'll call this. Maybe we can add something subtle to the end. If it would stop restarting early. There. I mean, we could also hear me out. One moment. Where is it at? You don't see anything right now, but I'm about to do the funny. I just have to find it first. Every time with this. Ah, there it is. See a purple alien in the corner. I'm not a purple alien. I'm a purple demon. Anyway, I may or may not have just changed the voice to gunshot. So here we go. My xylophone. You don't like gunshot? I can't remember. Did we actually use gunshot in the one song I did? Has he published it yet? Hold on. I can only show it if he's published it. Am I not subbed? Am I fake as hell? Hold on. Playlists. Hold on. Huh? Did he not publish it, or am I on the wrong channel? Hold on. Did I ever? You had to redeem to make your model do a flip? I don't think I can do that. What am I looking at? Interesting. I don't think he's released the video yet. I could send a message. He might be awake. I may not be able to show this yet. Unless I'm remembering wrong. I think I was requested not to show it on stream before it's done. I'm gonna take a quick look. What? Huh? Sorry, I got a request for a Discord bot, but I don't have any information about it, do I? Eh? I need information. Um. Um. What? Hmm, we'll do this doofy looking one. Okay. Yeah, I got a request for a Discord bot, but I haven't talked with this person. And I do think it says in my request form that I. Does it not say have I? Wow. Okay. Well, I forgot to put on the request form that you have to have talked to me first. Hold on. That's on me. Interesting. I'm listening to all of my singing monsters cards. It sounds now. Where did I get the word cards? What? Interesting. Um. But yeah, I got bamboozled by that. I was not expecting that. Uh. All right. Let's check. Am I allowed to show this? Details. Uh. No, I am not allowed to show this. Okay. See, this is why we make sure. I was about to. I was about to do something unforgivable. I was about to leak. We can't do that. Wait, did Luke leave Linus Tech Tips? His name was Jake. I'm not up to date on my Linus Tech Tips lore. All I remember is that Wannock went down and sad Linus moment. Anyway, I should probably change categories. We're not doing software development at the moment. We'll call it just chatting. That's fine. Um, just chatting. I could switch to Dusk and say just chatting. The name of every wave file is so random, so I need to listen to all of them. 19 VY monster 01.wave. Grand. How did the xylophone sound? Yeah, no. Go back to the good old Gluck. 19y monster 1.wave is not very helpful. Well, that depends. You just have to understand the runes. I'm not gonna use another general user one. We'll just delete it. Export wave file. I don't actually know where I export my sounds. They don't even start with the same letter as the monster. Well, not in the language you speak. What if it's the same letter as the monster and where the game was originated? Did it cut the tail? 2 measures is not long enough. Stop. Oh my god. You owe 1 to Euro 20. Yes. There are just 20 monsters that start with UO in that language. For the first 5, just start with O. Damn. They're obscuring it. The monsters are hiding. Ghosts? What the fuck? Freaky. Freaky. Synth. Raw. That is loud. Holy shit. Alright. Recorder. The ghost sound came from a shit recreation of Portal Robbery. Probably. Who knows? There are a ton. Like, I have the full, like, turbo mode of Sample Tank 4. So I have all of the sounds. All, like, 700 gigabytes of them. So I've got a lot to scroll through here. I have my custom shit. Damn, I don't have UCG. I do. Why are some of these grayed out? Why are these grayed out? I forget what I was gonna go for. Or violence. Violining, yeah. I actually bought a violin. I own one. I don't actually know where it is. It's probably in the other room. But I have a violin now. I saw it at a music shop and I impulse bought it. In my defense, it is one of my two major instruments that I use. I tried to Google it and it popped up with violating, which I don't think is quite right. Yeah. I used the good one, Violin Multi, which is 107 megabytes. I mean, like the tremolo doesn't matter. Is that vibrato? I don't know. I forget. I'm not a music guy. I just have music tools. Do like a this one is for follow. I'm just kind of fucking around now. I have no idea what I'm gonna use. I think that this doesn't sound that great. I'll put a ghost note over here. Nope. Hmm. Sounds like someone's straining their voice. Hmm. I think violin's not the right voice. We have to go with our favorite. Concert Grand. Don't, there's one that's like, I don't remember what it's called. Berlin Grand Piano Pop. Sorry, did I just hear like did I just discover the Wind Waker menu sound? I don't know, you're the old one. Look, just because I have a degree. Hmm. Your big head is blocking the notes. All right, fine. Are you happy now? I think the BPM is too high. I think that's what. That was too long. Um, the BPM is too high, so let's make the BPM half. All right, so Try the automaton if it's on there. I can try the automaton. One moment. Huh? We not have an automaton? What's the official name of an automaton? Automaton real name. It might be too recent. It was made in 20. No, it was 2009. Um. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, automaton is the official name. I don't think that there is an automaton in sample tank 4. I don't think I have one. 700 gigabytes of samples and I don't have an automaton. Try a vibratone. Yeah, it's definitely kind of wacky. I don't like this hesitation. Hmm. Are you looking for stylophone? Style. My favorite. Apparently have a stylophone. It doesn't play in this octave. That's really loud. Yeah, I'm not thinking we go with the stylophone. What about styrofoam? Do 11 violins. They're not quite fast enough. Bongos. What if we try the xylophone again? That is not a xylophone. That is a glockenspiel. This is the fun thing about Sample Tank is that some of them are so loud and some of them are so quiet. Different xylophones are wooden, glockenspiels are metal. That is essentially the only difference. By acoustic guitar. Why does it like pan so much? Like this was A5 under 69 velocity. Oh no, that's note 69. A5 under like 80% velocity. It kind of gives Celeste vibes. Jesus. So loud. We love it. What about the instrument Celeste? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a limiter on this for you. Limiter. I'm going to limit it to -30. All right. You are now safe from the loud. I am not. Let's test this out. Test it out on a really loud one. How is that? That is hard limited at 30. If I felt piano. Nope. What about, oh, here we go. Vibes red felt. Like a weird like noise that's playing in the background too. Yeah. Something synth. It's a really quirky one. This is the instrument that it sounds like when you when you when you try to force out a fart, but it's not a fart. Jesus. Loud. Let's try 330 watt. Honestly, that's not terrible. '70s sci-fi. His attack is far too long. Duck bass? Where are you seeing? Oh, duck bass. I mean, that's not a terrible one. Is it usable? I think it's they activate once a certain amount of chat messages have come through. So no matter what I do, I mean, I could offset the chat messages, but honestly, I think it's kind of funny that it's just like it's like, hey, please, all of these, please. A fifth layer. The way that that starts, like I feel an impact on my head when that plays. I honestly think we just go back to good old. Just gonna ignore that it said it broke. You can also make it louder. It's angry piano. I mean, is it too high? There you go. Oh, you don't see the happy face? Just make it a really loud chord. More of a sad face if you look at the whole picture. I mean, he looks pretty happy to me. I mean, if you look at the full, I mean, if I make this come down from the top, it's gonna sound weird. It's even four again. This is the follow alert. Doesn't really need to be all that good. Just a little bit long. I mean, considering that an alert can only play like once every 15 seconds, or I think it's once every 10 seconds, it's not really that big of a deal. This composition is only 4 seconds long. All right. Now we need to make subscribe. This one does actually need to be good. Actually, what if we... Hear me out. I mean, that's not that bad. We're summoning Nox. And it looks like a stick bug under a blanket. There's no way I'm getting stick bugged in 26. Holy shit! That scared me. The fucking the sub sound is so terrifying. Speaking of the sub sound, Nux, thank you for subscribing. Welcome. Um, we're working on sound alerts. Actually, is why I have summoned you. Um, I forgot about stick bug. His quests are so annoying. Um, we're working on a sub sound, and I want your opinion on it. All right, here it is. That is the subscribing sounds. I could make them different for each tier. Come to think of it, there are 5 different alerts that are played on my alert box for subscribing. To be honest, tier 2 and tier 3 subs are pointless. Yes, but if you decide to give me $30 instead of 6, I should probably do at least something. Sounds like an early mid 2000s ringtone. And it does. It's better than the default Twitch one at least. Wow. Minimum praise. Hear me out. Let's hear it. Use voice clips for my alerts. What would I say? You tier 1 sub and you hear backshots.com is available for purchase. For the low price of 9,000 United States dollars, you can own it. What you do with it is not my problem. Now, Uwu's going for the tier 3. Actually, we'll do Uwu for tier 2 and then Ada for tier 3. That's how it's gonna go. If your sub lasts a year or longer, you get another uwu or something. Get freaky uwu. I feel like it would drive people away if I hit an OO for follows. Meow for tier 1. Oh no. We could also just play this at double speed or like 190 or something. It reduces its length to only 3 seconds. What percent of cat do you start talking with meows? Khajiit can speak, so probably like 85%. Alien's follow alert is whatever Poggy Woggy. Huh. I don't like that alert, to be honest. And did the entire fucking the what was her name? I forget her name. The furry rap. I don't remember who did it. I want to say Senzawa, but I'm pretty sure that's a Borderlands challenge runner. That might be Senza though. Their names are similar. Senzawa is the person. Is Senza the guy who does? Yeah, I am right. I'm exactly wrong, actually. Senzawa is not the challenge runner. Senza is the challenge runner. To be fair, their names are almost exactly the same. So I'll take it. Oh, they don't do Borderlands anymore, do they? Cyberpunk, Metal Gear Rising, Spider-Man, Dying Light. I think they moved on. To be fair, how much more Borderlands could even possibly done? So actually, he stopped uploading. Cyberpunk was his most recent video after 8 months of nothing. No Senza but crying. So Senza but crying. Mayhaps. I mean, the question is, what would we like? I'm still not convinced on the vocals, if I'm being honest. Make this follow just you gulping. The thing is, I feel like a lot of streamers make their follow alerts like inside jokes. I don't have any. I don't have any like catchphrases or anything. I need to make a catchphrase. What would my catchphrase be? Everybody's favorite style of character thing. Just meow. Doesn't even make sense. I'm not even the cat girl. No. Oh. Jump scaring again. 1 sec. There we go. To be honest, I get annoyed by hearing voice lines. Yeah. Look, the camera doesn't update when I switch models. And they're all different sizes. Which is funny because I'm pretty sure Aleta is the same model. Hold on. Oh, so that isn't case sensitive. Sick. I'm not even visible. Oh, there we go. No, it is the other model. That's the JK model, which is the just kidding model. Wait, shit. You know what? Fuck it. We're Gremlin now. Did it not load Gremlin? What? I love that the chat is like completely fucked, and now every time I go to type in it, it goes to 5 lines tall. Go back to cat so you can meow. Joke's on you. I am a cat now. I may not remember which one of my tracking parameters controls the ears, but I am a cat now. Is this like at least 40% cat? What were the numbers we said? I think probably. I think 40% is when you start getting fur though. This is like 39% cat. We have the cat mouth. Not actually. That's here. That's not actually a cat mouth, that's the fang. Not cat mouth. Your cat has fangs? Yes. I wish I had a cat. Fraud. I don't have a cat. Not even a cat owner. My mom's allergic. Either that or she's lying. I'd say they both have equal likelihoods. But yeah, I can't own a cat. I mean, to be fair, I probably couldn't afford owning a cat right now, so probably a good thing I don't. I'm also like aware of the fact that if I get a cat, one day it's gonna die, and that's gonna like annihilate me mentally. Allergies are like the same tier as depression. Yeah, we're gonna call this sub 1. Like 1 tier below psychosis and cancer. I'm not sure what tiers we're talking about now. I've lost the plot. Sub1.wav. The redeem wave is gone, so that's nice. Is this rendering to the folder I think it is? No, redeem just didn't actually render. Sick. Love that. Um, all right, we have to make a tier 2 one now. Jeez. Oh yeah. I see you hate dogs. Dogs are so messy and loud and dependent. Some people like that. They're weirdos. Yeah. Let's go for a different sound. Finger to pluck. Finger to pick. I can read. Hmm. What if we do a we do one with a bass? That is not the right octave. See if they have a kajoob sound. What is this? It's first off, they're not gonna have anything from MSM. But I do have a bassoon. But the kajoob is so good. Look, we don't have kajoob, unfortunately. Kajoob, he's locked in his basement. Um, let's see by tags. There are only like 70 tagged angelic. This is great. Mend, mind. That's why there's a panic button. It's a very interesting sound. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just fucking around at this point. It leads back into itself. Pretty easy to make music loop when it's one instrument. Okay. Now we have to put a second instrument on top of it. And color 2, we load our favorite instruments. The piano. It's gonna sound weird as shit. If I just play the same thing, your eyes are 72% open. How did you measure that? Oh, that's right. I forgot to change the color. Change color. Hmm. Hmm. A built-in protractor in your thumb? That would be kind of sick. Hmm. I don't like that. I don't want it to just play the same thing. That'd be boring. Um. Hmm. I don't think this is it. Not good at making like instant type sounds. Your eyes are now 57% open. I mean, it's a good thing they're not 10% more open. You wouldn't want to get slightly more awoken. That would be a disaster. Numbers voided from my built-in protractor. See. It is funny to think that you would have been the second person to get banned today by using the word void. Yeah, so void was one of the banned terms in the stream because one of the view bots that comes in is like streaming into the void by our view bots now. So I put void in the banned terms list. And somebody earlier while I was doing my development branch, yeah, I know. While I was doing my development branch, somebody was like, "Yeah, I avoid learning like programming language like code um because I'm worried that people can use it to like influence me." I'm like, "Huh?" but they used the word avoided, and that banned them. And then the funny thing is they did it again. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Avoid contains the word void, therefore you get banned. I had to remove it. Yeah, my technology influenced them to stop saying avoid. It was an interesting concern. Never seen that before. And the word woof because we hate dogs. I'll pass. I like this bit in my leg that hurts, and I just cannot like. I think it's like some sort of like knot or something, and I can't like fix it. It's annoying me. Like right in your leg where you don't have a whole lot of agency to actually like move it. So that's grand. I might actually call it for today. I'm also having trouble staying awake. Um, let's see. Who shall we raid? Kitty go sleep? Yes. Kitty need to eat. Um, is they forget to change their stream title? I don't know, but we're gonna raid Noto. You don't need to raid anyone because I'm gonna go to bed anyways. You're not the only person in chat. We got a couple guys, but we are going to raid someone who is playing a game that has everything to do with cats, really. Um, everybody, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day. I won't be streaming today again. Once again, yeah, I um I have described how my stream streak works very carefully because it makes this possible. Essentially, I'm going to be doing shit for the entirety of the second half of tomorrow or today. So I'm not going to be able to stream, but I've already streamed for an hour, actually 2 hours and a half, so it counts. Everybody, thank you for watching, and I will see you actually tomorrow in EST, unless I stream anyway. See you then. Oh, a raid message is you are never safe from the Azaria raid, Azaria B. Popcorn. This is our raid message. All right. Everybody, thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye.